Okay, this is a summary of each ois of the Maimer of Tav Shemem. I'm just going to translate it. So Moshe brings the Shekhinah down, the seventh generation to the earth, to the building of the Mishkan. It was made of boards of Atzei Shittim. And what's Atzei Shittim? It's all about transforming the lie, as we explained. The sheker, and make it to a kedesh, and the sheker comes from the foolishness, the negative foolishness, shtus dilum hazeh. So this is all transformed into shtus kedusha, and to a kedesh aboard of the Mishkan. And likewise, the avodah of each person, so he draws within himself the Ikar Shekhinah. Second, see if the Torah is eternal, and therefore today all of the instructions related to Basi L'Gani are relevant, and likewise all the details of Golos Mitzrayim are also eternal instructions. Like, for example, the mortar and bricks, the Beruchnius, that's Torah study with Kal V'Chomer and Libun Hilchase. Siv Gimel, through the Avodah and Zman HaGolus, Torah mitzvahs, so we elevate in the tzutzis. And that's why Yidden are called Tziv. It's another reason why they're called Tzivas Hashem, hosts, referring to the sparks of Kedusha that we elevate through the Avodah and Golus. And we're called Tzivas Hashem because it's through this Avodah we are bottled, we are Mamshech Shem Havaya. Sorry, there's Tzivas Hashem and there's Tzva'os. So Tzva'os are the Tzutze Kedusha, which we have to elevate. It sounds like that.
I didn't understand the difference between Tzivos and Tzva'os.
It sounds like I have to look at this further, but it sounds like that Tzva'os are the sparks elevated, and through the Avodah becomes Tzivas Hashem. Through our Avodah, we become Tzivas Hashem because we elevate them to Shem Havaya and reveal Shem Havaya. So Tzvos is before the Avodah, and Tzivas Hashem is as a result of the Avodah. The next Siv. The name, the term B'chlal, referring to Yidden as Tzvos, is connected because Yidden are a reflection of the one above, Adam B'la Elyon. So we're called Tzvos because Hashem is called Hashem Tzvokos. Now that was a name that was revealed through the Nevi'im. And he says that even though the Nevi'im on one level are lower than Torah, but we see the punishment is greater for transgressing words of a Navi. It's Misa B'dei Shemayim, whereas many transgressions in Torah are simply being flogged. So this is because Shem Tzvokis is lower in the sense, as he goes on to explain, that it deals with Nivroim. It's a likus all the way down into a fragmented world. As he says in Siv Hey, that's the Gemara says, what is it, why the name, the opinion of the final opinion, that Tzvokis is named Hashem, it means Oisu B'Tzava Shaloi, which is a likus again drawn into Nivroim, which is the whole Chiddush of the Nevi'im. Whereas the other names are the Spheres or the Midas of Atzilus, which are united in one with him. And that's why we don't find Shem Tzvokis in the Torah, because both Moshe and Torah is revealed then as a level of Atzilus. But the Chiddush of the Nevi'im, this is actually the Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe, we don't find this. You recall, not mentioned in Eitz Chaim, that the Chiddush of the Nevi'im is that the same unity that is in Atzilus, which is a natural unity without Avodah, because there's relatively no concealment there. The Chiddush is that this unity is effected and wrought in Bria and lower. And that's why in the end it's one of the holy names, but that's a huge achievement of the Nevi'im. Again, the paradox that on the one hand, as he pointed out earlier, the Nevi'im are lower, yet we see that their punishment is higher. So the paradox is lower, higher, yeah. Lower than a mamshech likus, lower, higher, because to do that is a greater chiddush, and as the Maimon goes on to say, that draws on the etzem and the neshama. And the point is that the Etzem and Neshama is really summoned forth Dafkin Golus, which is why most of the Nevi'im lived towards and in connection with Golus. Towards the end of the first Beis Hamikdash, the impending destruction, etc. This isn't spelled out in black and white in the Maimah, but that's what he means. Sif Zayin. So again, this is the great chiddush of the Ilui of the Pula of the Nevi'im. Again, he stresses the Nevi'im Achronim because that's Dafkin related to Golus. And that also explains the name as well, because this is the only name of Hashem. This is an important point. The only name of the Eibishter that Eden also called that way. That's because Eden are Mushish and Atzmos higher than Torah, and therefore they're able to affect this big chiddush of Shem Tzvokos, of the Amshocha Velikus in creation, bringing about this unity even in a fragmented world. You follow? That's because of the Mile of Eden Dafke. Eden are called Tzvois. Eden being Mushish and Atzmos higher than Torah, higher than Moshe Rabbeinu's Torah, where Tzvois is not mentioned. The Nevi'im are the ones that are Megala, the source of Neshamas Yisrael. You follow that? This is not spelled out in the Maimah that way. The process of all of this is to Avodas HaBerurim, that's Sifches. Through a Yid elevating the Berurim, so this unlocks his Etzem and Neshama. Because every Birur that we elevate is connected to the Neshama. So now Siftes is Tzivis Hashem. This is already the elevated sparks and incorporated in Shem Havaya. And then Al Tzivoisam, that's the diak on what he said before, but he says at the end in Siftes, that's Yidden higher than the sparks, higher than Shem, than Toyu, where the sparks come from. And that's where they have the koyach to elevate it. That's why they have the koyach. Now, the elevate means to affect this unity even in Biyah, which by natural order, by Torah's perspective, cannot be done. Yeah. Okay, and finally, Sif Yud, in greater depth, this all happens through Midas HaNetzach, which is rooted in Etzem HaNefesh, even though it's the Varmi Gufa, it's outside the body of the Nefesh, but the continuous paradox in all of Chassidus and in everything, that the lower levels rooted in deeper places in the Nefesh. So Netzach, which is being on the front line and achieving victory at all and every cost. So this is Megal Etzem HaNefesh. Okay, and that's Mamshech Lamata and affects the Dira B'Tachtonim. It brings about the B'Tachtonim. Okay, there's